Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing tonight? The audio coming through okay, guys? Thank you, Christian. Thank you. So, I forget who saw. I was looking a little bit at the comments right before I signed on, and someone said Happy Friday, and it reminded me that that's how I used to always start my Friday roadway rambles, and I've kind of missed being able to say Happy Friday. So it was nice to be able to start that way tonight. And you'll notice I did remember to turn the volume down so that I didn't create a feedback loop tonight. So you're welcome. I know how much you enjoy those. Looks like we got a good crowd forming already. So let's see. We got Naptown Pipes and Sticks. Hello there, Stephen Schmidt, Pipe Fool. Good to see you, my friend. Luke Reisner coming in from Japan again. Thanks for tuning in, Luke. We really appreciate it. Paul the Piper, Paul Ralou, Pipes and Bees, Yardism, Everett Young, Bearded Piper 717, Rob Charette, Curmudgeon Piper. Great crowd already. Fantastic. I'm really happy to see you guys. And I think it's gonna be worth your time tonight. We got a real nice show building up here. So I think you're really going to enjoy our guest tonight. And well, we'll see how it goes. I hope you have a good time. So how is everyone doing? What are we enjoying tonight? So I've got a Lane Limited Crown Achievement pipe. This was a pipe that I actually got for free when I bought a pound of Crown Achievement, which I still haven't smoked. But the pipe is very nice. The Crown Achievement's very nice too. It's just a lot of Kia blend, and I just don't smoke those very much anymore. But this is nice, a nice pipe. Old Gallery, very nice by Raguru. And Pipes and Bees is having some old dark fired and a custom built. Sounds good. Here's Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker, with his Friday check-in from dinner. Eric, thank you so much. We really appreciate you doing that, and please do watch the rerun. I hope you enjoy it. Christian's finishing a jar of Drexel 8. Cogs and Sprockets, hello. Haunted Bookshop in a 673, very good. Good evening, Blue Dog, good to see you. Peterson Dracula with Brown Irish Twist. That's an interesting one, Paul. I've had the Brown Irish Twist. I like it, but it took a bit of getting used to be honest. It's one of those blends that I kind of had to learn about before I could really appreciate it. So I never got to tell you what's in the pipe. So I've been on this kick with Sir Walter Raleigh, which I cannot say for some reason, Sir Walter Raleigh. I've had this before, and I've had it in the past, but recently I got a pouch given to me by Padre Piper, and then Mark in Rhode Island also gave me a pouch. And something about this has just really clicked with me the past few, maybe 6-8 weeks. It's just a real nice burley blend, over the counter type thing. Shog, half and half in a 673. That sounds good. Molto Doce and a Meerschaum Bent. Jeffrey Alton Carter. That sounds good as well. I don't smoke many aromatics, and honestly, Molto Dolce is too much for me, but I have had it, and it's one of the ones that I can at least say tastes like it smells. So there's an honesty to it that I appreciate, although it's not really in my wheelhouse. Yeah, Big Dave, it is a really great tobacco. I'm just continually surprised by that. It's not that it's a great tobacco, but that I enjoy it so much. Corvette Jim, good to see you. Glad you made it in time. Have I ever had sweet maple twist? I don't think so. So in addition to the pipe, I am enjoying a drink, and it's not Miller tonight. I'm getting all fancy on you. I actually went to the store and got this critter, which is Mama's Little Yellow Pills from Oscar Blues Mama Tried. So Oscar Blues is a brewing company out in Denver. They make very nice beer. Actually, someone on Instagram recommended them to me a while back, and I'm really enjoying this. It's a good Pilsner. The only problem is with the name Mama Tried. I've had the Grateful Dead version of that song stuck in my head since I bought it. Hooray for craft beers indeed. They are fun. Oh, Kathy Ennis. Kathy, I think I saw earlier that both you and Steve are out there, so it's good to have you. Welcome. Sir Winston in a Cobb. Yeah, Big Dave, I've never had the Sir Walter Aromatic, but I've heard people say good things about it. The Hat Piper, Arkansas Mike, good to see you guys. Pipes and Chores, good to see you, my friend. I wanted to actually mention your last video. I think it was the last one that you made. It actually it helped me in some of the thought processes I was going through for that IPSD video that I put up the other day. Some of the things you said about work and what it means to be a man, and yeah, I really appreciated that. Really made me think. Southwest aficionado, good to see you, Micah. Morley's best in a Savinelli 320. Sounds good, Pipe Smoker 795. Anybody pairing with a drink tonight? Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do it, my friend. Actually coming close to the bottom of the bowl here. Pepsi Max. Nothing wrong with that. Kentucky Straight. BCA and coffee. Sounds good, Arkansas Mike. Always coffee, yeah. Sake. That's interesting, Pipes and Bees. Do you drink it warm? I hope you're doing well with that, Everett. I know that can be rough. Rum and Coke's a good choice, the Hat Piper. Jack Daniels double, huh, Micah? How's that arm doing? Old Joe Cranston coffee, Stephen Schmidt. Yeah, you know, there's something about Old Joe Cranston and Haunted Bookshop and coffee that Carter Hall I put in that category too. But when I'm drinking coffee, I actually find myself craving those tobaccos, which is very difficult if I'm in the middle of a long meeting at work. I haven't had any Mixture 79 in probably about 3 months, Big Dave. Not for any good reason. I just ran out and haven't replenished it. Jameson and Early Morning Pipe. That's a great combination. Yeah, Jason, Burley and coffee were made for one another. Good point, Christian. It is caffeine and nicotine after all. And they have a rather comfortable relationship with one another. Westmoreland Mixture and a Budweiser. Way to go, Durham Duke. So we've been on about 10 minutes. I'd like to give about 15 minutes for everybody to show up that's going to show up before we start the actual chat. But I can start telling you a bit about our guest, and I think you all probably know who our guest is, and that is John, who we know as the Bearded Welshman on YouTube. And I'm really looking forward to interviewing him. I got the opportunity to talk to him a few days back and really enjoyed our chat. And you guys, if you know his channel, he's just one of these guys that you want to sit down and smoke a pipe while you watch his video, because you feel like he's inviting you into his living room or he's coming into your living room. And it's just nice. It's like having a friend across the street that can come over and smoke a pipe with you. Now, unfortunately, YouTube in its wisdom had unsubscribed me from John's channel at some point, and I had not seen any of his videos in quite a long time. And honestly, you know, with all the other videos and everything, I just hadn't realized it. And then he got in touch with me to be interviewed here, and I thought, gee, what happened? And sure enough, YouTube had unsubscribed to me. And I resubscribed him, and I over the past couple days have been watching some of his more recent videos, and yeah, so if you're not subscribed to the Bearded Welshman, you got to go do that right now, and you're definitely going to want to do that after this interview. I'm absolutely certain. So we're going to do the Piper on the 45 wants me to just go ahead and light up in the meeting. I will try that, but when I'm much closer to retirement age. So we're going to follow the same format as last time. I'm going to call up John. We'll chat for a while. If you guys have questions as we go along, please hold them, because I will ask for questions towards the end of the interview when I can take the time to read them, because I'm not going to be able to read and talk at the same time. So we'll definitely get your questions in. Just hold them until the end when I ask for them, please. So Lunting Larry Higgins, good to see you. Oh, Steph and Skip, hi there. Good to see you guys too. Well, I just finished up some Sir Walter in a Crown Achievement pipe. And before I get John on the line, I'm actually going to fill this Bing's favorite with some Haunted Bookshop. I keep doing that. It's not Carter Hall. It's confusing people. It's actually a Carter Hall tub filled with Haunted Bookshop. And I'm still trying to decide. I've got a few hours left on some of the IPSD sales. I'm trying to decide whether I want to restock on Haunted Bookshop or anything else. I've got enough Carter Hall to last me probably my lifetime. But some of these other ones I'm not too sure about. And I really do like Haunted Bookshop and Old Joe Krantz, and I want to make sure I've got them readily available once I retire. Sorry you got to go, Everett. Enjoy supper. Ain't that the truth, Yardism? YouTube seems to be playing with us for some reason. I don't quite understand it. But yeah, I've talked to several people that said that YouTube has basically unsubscribed them from things, and it's weird that they would do that. I don't know how that would help them really, but I don't understand YouTube. Hey, Mark in Rhode Island, good to see you, buddy. Andrew Cirliano, good to see you. Let me know if I'm murdering your name, Andrew. Traveler Mike, hello. Yeah, these are really nice pipes, and they smoke great. I just really wish that the shanks were a little bit thicker. It would completely destroy the aesthetics, but it is so easy to crack the shank. So, John, if you're set, we're going to go ahead and get you on the line. Yeah, Christian, more than I would like to be honest.
Hello.
Hello, John. How are you?
Good, Mike. Do I need to turn the volume down on my computer?
I can't hear it, so unless it's confusing you, it's okay. I'll let you know if it starts
Okay.
doing anything weird. But it sounds
Like you're a couple minutes behind. It was like, hey, he's calling me and he's not calling me. That's like, well, that's a magic trick I've never seen.
Yeah, a little bit of time travel keeps things interesting. So, guys,
Yeah, a couple.
let me just check and make sure is the audio coming through out there, guys? Can you hear John okay?
So I might be a couple minutes behind on you, a couple seconds or so.
Yeah, we got all good. Yeah, and sometimes there's lag.
Yeah.
I'll type things in and it takes several seconds for it to even pop up. So
Yeah.
but
Good deal.
life with technology. So thank you, John. I really appreciate you you reaching out to join me tonight and you taking the time for it. Looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me. I didn't think you'd answer me that quickly. So
Well,
I'm honored. I'm honored.
yeah, no, I was honored that you reached out, and it was great because I had just done the first one, and I was thinking, is this going to be a one-off or something? But you were there to make it at least a two-off, and we're now scheduled out till late March, so it's actually quite good. And I've got about 5 or 6 folks lined up that I haven't scheduled yet, just because I don't want to schedule too far in advance. So
Right.
really well.
Good deal. Good. Hopefully it'll grow and grow and grow. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's a wonderful thing that we're doing.
Thanks. I'm really glad to hear that, and I hope that you and the guys out there get as much out of it as I do, because I really am enjoying it. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to get started with you're just asking you to tell us a bit about yourself. We know a fair amount about you. You are a video making machine, it seems. And it's great. I don't mean that at all in a negative way. I really enjoyed all of your videos that I've watched.
No, I get it. I'm home a lot, so I've had some family members say, "Don't you think you get a little too personal on some of this stuff?" Because I think last week I talked about going off my diet and having some dairy, and all of a sudden I'm constipated. But let's face it, constipation's a real thing, folks. It happens. So basically, I started on YouTube I was a lurker, just like everybody else, and I stumbled upon this Gandalf-looking guy smoking a beard, George Bruno. And I thought, well, he looks cool. Now, I smoked pipe on occasion here and there. I had like a Dr. Grabo, and I had an old, just a cheapo little corncob pipe. And through the years, if I felt like it, I'd smoke it. And I didn't realize that there's more than just cherry blend you buy in a cigarette store, Yeah. So I started watching, and I'm going, hey, there's more to this than I thought. And then I got turned on to Tom from NW Pipe Smoker, from out there in the Washington State. And then this weird guy, Mike, at Briar Blues. And then it just started rolling and rolling and rolling. And then one day, George just said, just start making a video. What am I going to talk about, George? Just talk about life. So I get comfortable in front of the camera. I tell my family If I say something too embarrassing, please let me know, and I'll either pull that video or try to watch what I say. But when I'm in front of the camera, I feel like I'm sitting across from someone else smoking a pipe. It's my way of enjoying a pipe with people. And I got a good response in the beginning from people, and it just encourages you. The YTPC, which back then it was like, I was too embarrassed to go type into the thing, hey, what is YTPC? What is YABO? What is a GAW? You know, I was too embarrassed because I was trying to get the lingo down.
Right.
And I was getting accepted, and, you know, by the people in the group. And I remember one day, I was so excited. He's changed it to WV Ridge Runner, River Rat 74.
Okay.
He's now changed to WV Ridge Runner. And he shouted me out. And I was so excited. I'm like, this guy's from Ohio. He don't even know me. And he's, you know, and I was so excited about that. And then a couple other people, they give shout-outs. That's why it's good to give shout-outs to people. We get them. We give the love. That's the YTPC is a group of people that is very generous, very forgiving, very caring, and very protective of one another. We're very protective of one another. And it's a great thing. And then I started watching this guy that's been on everybody's mind. This is his night, matches 860. Now, when I first watched matches, I wasn't watching the Friday Night Lives. I was catching up, and I loved his In the Woods and his stories, and his girlfriend story has got to be the funniest thing I ever heard. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for that. Yes. And then I started catching up, and then I started to learn more about more different people. Eric, the blue-collar pipe smoker, Andrew Sirigliano welcomed me in, Zach, the four-eyed piper, welcomed me in, and then there's some people that aren't on as much anymore. Smokey Mo, I'm naming a whole bunch of people, and then guys like Curmudgeon Piper came along, and you know, and you actually get to make friends doing this, and you're not that far from me. We're not far from one another. But I tried Haunted Bookshop, funny story, a couple of weeks before our beloved matches 860 John passed. And my tradition was, whenever I tried something new, I tried it in a filterless pipe. So I got my Norden Great Dane out. I darn near died. I thought, what in the world is so good about this? This is going to kill somebody. I mean, it was hard stuff. After his passing, and we did the memorial, I thought, well, I want to smoke it. I thought, I learned my lesson. Put it on a shelf, set it back, come back later. That at his passing, when Padre Piper did the memorial, I broke out my 9mm. And I found it to be a very pleasant smoke I'm still learning, you know. I've only been really into the pipe thing for almost 2 years, and I'm still learning a lot of things. And I thought, wow, okay, this is easier for me to deal with a filter pipe. And the cool thing is there's so many people on here that you can learn from that teach you things. Briar Blade, LaDon Mott taught me how to clean my Zippo. I mean, he's been smoking pipes. It's not a hobby for him. Preacher Man says the same thing. It's not a hobby. It's a way of life. And he taught me, hey, I thought he was messing with me. Take some rubbing alcohol and clean it with a toothbrush. I thought, if I go light that thing up, it's going to blow up in my face or something. I thought he was messing with me, but it works.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So if you're a new presenter, or if you're on here and you're lurking and you don't present, listen. Just get on there and be yourself. We will accept you. Elbow shot to Curmudgeon Piper. You meet a lot of interesting characters on here. A few people have had the opportunity to come to my house and smoke with me, and it's funny because I have the Bearded Welshman's pipe parlor. every time they come, there's probably been 3 people that have come to my house to have do a video with me, and they look and they go, "That's it? This is small." I'm like, "Yeah, we need to move some things around because we just don't have enough room for 2 of us."
Right.
So it's not like it's a big production that you put on, but
Absolutely.
I enjoy the hobby. I enjoy the hobby.
Well, that's fantastic, and I think you've really captured what draws a lot of us into it is that sense of community and kindness and caring and everything else
Yeah.
that is just so ubiquitous throughout the community. You seem very comfortable in front of the camera, and I actually today just for the heck of it and preparing for this, I went back and watched what I think is your first video, at least the first one that you have up. And you are essentially the same guy that was in that first video.
Oh, well, thank you.
So I'm just curious, have you always been comfortable with that sort of thing? Like, is public speaking something you're okay with? Or
Well, I'm a musician and singer. I grew up in church singing and being in front of people. So being in front of people is something I've always enjoyed. I love entertaining people. I love to make people laugh. I'm one of those guys, if there's tension in the room, I'll try to break it up with something.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a little kid, my mom and dad swore I was going to be a comedian or an actor or something like that. And I said, well, I'm going to try to make it in music. If that don't work, I'll try to be a comedian. If that don't work, I'll join the priesthood. If that don't work, I guess I'm not going to have much else to do with life. So I've always been comfortable. I enjoy getting in front of people. I have another YouTube channel that I just started just for the music because I wanted to separate the 2. Mm-hmm. I'd never done any acting, but I love talking to people, and I love hearing stories. I love the stories that people tell. And I appreciate everybody has a story, and it's history. It may not be famous history, but it's a history of their life, of something that they've experienced. And it fascinates me to hear people's stories. There was so many tributes to how people, about matches, but those that actually knew him, that were blessed enough to actually know him, Sergeant Savinelli's video, I mean, what a fortunate man he was to be able to know a guy like John. John's a guy that he accepted everybody, and he makes you want to be a better man because that's the way he was. And I think a lot of us are learning. I think this was a hard death for us. Danny was hard. Danny Shore was a hard thing to deal with. John, I think, was hard because it was unexpected, and it caught everybody by surprise. But the good legacy out of it is we're all trying to be good to people the way John was. And this is what the YTPC should be. He was a great ambassador of it, not to keep tooting John's horn and to go on with that. But that's why I like the YTPC. I get to meet a lot of people. I've gotten to do, I did a video with Old Dirty. I drove to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and sat down with Old Dirty, and we did a 2-parter video. I did one with the BTWN guy. I had a lurker came over and smoked. He didn't want to be on video, so we didn't do the video. My kids have been on the videos with me. So my home is open. I'm always for a meetup. And then I learned about this thing called House Party. Mm-hmm. You got to understand something about me. I'm not tech savvy. I have a hard time. I text with one finger, my thumb, and it's terrible because I get it wrong. If I try to talk text, I use the wrong words comes up, and it's embarrassing sometimes. I learned about Marco Polo, and I learned about House Party, and that's the beauty of technology. I've gotten to know some of these folks outside of just watching them on here with videos. By the way, I'm sitting in the Bearded Welshman studio, drinking my coffee, just black, of course, because it's cold out tonight. I would like to have some Southern Comfort, but unfortunately, when you're on pain meds, you're not allowed to drink alcohol. It's not. They say it's not a good combination.
Right.
So, but I get to meet a lot of people through outside of here, and there's going to be a meetup now, and I'm going to get to meet more. And
that's fantastic. Yeah, I think that's one of the really surprising things for me, and I hear a lot of people say this as well, is that this is not your typical social media interaction. People on Facebook or Twitter, they've got hundreds of followers and whatever, but they very, very rarely meet them, and they very rarely talk to them on the telephone. It's different here.
Yeah, and they dump all their stuff on you. Yeah. Look, you can go to Facebook, and you can be in everybody's living room every day. I remember as a kid, you probably remember as a kid, if someone knocked at the door at 8 o'clock at night, you were excited.
Yeah.
You were like, hey, somebody's here.
Right.
Nobody called. And my son one time when he was younger, he first got on Facebook, because the only reason I'm on Facebook was because my kids were on it and I wanted to monitor them. And they figured out how to hide from me, and I didn't figure that out because I'm not tech savvy. And I said to him, listen, he's like, Dad, I'm bored. I said, go do something with your friends. An hour later, I see him in the computer, and I'm like, what are you doing? I said, go do something with your friends. He said, I am. We're on Facebook. I said, what? I'm like, are you kidding me? But it's society. I don't know why society is that way anymore. I've never seen anything like the YouTube pipe community. And I mean, you look at if you go on some of the other YouTube stuff that you can get involved with, it's not like the YTPC. I see Curmudgeon Piper right. It's true. It takes the Bearded Welshman 23 minutes to type the word "it." That's not far fetched. I don't even know how to spell that word.
Yeah.
But you get to meet a lot of people, and it's just I'm learning a lot about piping. I'm learning now. I want to start. I bought a buffing wheel, so I want to start, polishing up some of my more my pipes that are dulling out. It's not easy,
right.
And I'm gonna make mistakes, and I'm really hoping I don't screw something up I don't want to screw up. But there's enough videos on here, guys that know what they're doing, that you can learn from.
Yeah,
hopefully.
And you got a friend about 2 hours away that buffs a lot of pipes, so I could always drive out and show you how to do it.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm going to either pay you a visit or I'm going to send you. I have a Bertram pipe. You learn from yourself, from your mistakes. I set it on the shelf, and it has a short stem, and it fell off the shelf because I bumped the table, and the stem broke inside the shaft, and I need a new stem. It's one of my favorite pipes, and it's like, okay, where do I? And then people are like, oh, I'll go to Vermont Freehand and do. Yeah. Listen, you're talking to a guy that says duct tape and super glue. So it's I'm not that good at it yet. So I try.
Right.
I tried it. So I'll be probably sending you or bringing them to you.
Well, happy to take care of it for you. But the way to get good at it is to do it. So maybe that's not the pipe you want to experiment with, but you'll get there. So speaking of pipes, I don't think we got into this. How long have you been smoking a pipe?
Off and on. Very little off and on, about 15, maybe 20 years, I don't remember.
Okay.
The first time I tried it, I do remember. I was watching a friend of mine. He was an older guy, and I was impressed because my grandfather smoked a pipe. And I inhaled, and that was it. I didn't smoke pipe for a long time after that.
That'll stop
until he said something to me one day and said, why aren't you smoking a pipe? I said, that stuff will kill you. He said, it's because you're inhaling. And then in 2018, I started finding out there's all these tobaccos out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I really started taking it serious. And I was on aromatics because that's what I smoked when I was younger. The cherry smell. I remember my grandfather, he smoked Velvet, I think Carter Hall, the Codger blends, stuff like that. And then I started seeing all these different, so I learned aromatics on aromatics, and I graduated to Englishes. I like Balkans and Esotericas the most right now. But I still like smoking my aromatics. I really do. I really do enjoy them. They're a good change of pace. I recommend that if you ever buy it's called Devil's Holiday, or a very sweet berry one is another one, Appalachian Berry. But Devil's Holiday is the one I can remember. My favorite pipe, everybody knows, is my Svenborg Bark 303. I, like a newbie, decided to smoke Devil's Holiday in my Svenborg. And it took me 3 cleanings of kosher salt and Everclear. I spent $40 or so on Everclear to get that taste out of there. And then I could still taste it a little bit. And I figured, well, as I smoke more different blends in there, it'll go away, which it did, thank God. So I now have a corncob pipe that is specifically for the Devil's Holiday. I will not smoke anything else in that pipe. I was so glad because that was like my favorite. Everybody finds that one pipe, right? Mine's the Svenborg, the pot-looking, the pot-looking pipe. It's a rusticated. It's called a Bark 303. I love the Danish pipes, and this happens to be the pipe that no matter what I smoke, other than Devil's Holiday, I can smoke in it and I can enjoy it. My Fireside, Lane 1Q, they call it Fireside at the B&M where I go. I could smoke that all day long. But I've really been getting into Captain Black lately, which is kind of weird, because I do a lot of Balkans, I do a lot of Esotericas.
You're going backwards.
I love Galwith and Hogarth. I love Sam Galwith, but when you go to get it, it's gone. So you got to travel to the store and get it if they have it. So it's just a matter. It's a matter of your taste, and just because everybody's into one blend doesn't mean that's going to work for you. Because 9 times out of 10, it ain't.
Right.
You may go, oh, that's good, but it's not going to be like great, like everybody says. And that's the beauty of the pipe community. You can enjoy the pipe you have as your favorite pipe and your favorite blend, and I can enjoy my favorite blend and my favorite pipe, and we can sit across from each other, and we don't have to say a word. We don't have to say a word.
Yep.
That's first time I smoked with George Bruno. We're sitting on the porch. It was before he started doing the video, and we lit up our pipes. We traded. You trade. You give gifts. And I started smoking, and I was so excited to talk to George. And I started talking. He goes, "Hey," he says, "Hush." And I went, "What?" And he goes, let's just sit and enjoy the smoke." And I went, "Oh, okay." And then he explained to me what he was doing, and I went, "Okay." He was teaching me how to rhythmically take my time and enjoy the smoke. So, and then as I watch guys, I learned the 3-puff method from Matches. You know, he had that rhythm.
Yes.
And I think a lot of guys learn that from him. And then there's other smokers that they just puff, puff, puff. But yeah, I just enjoy it. I could go on and on and on and on, but yeah, I enjoy it. Oh, by the way, I do want to say this. Thank you very much to those of you that are watching. I noticed today that I hit 900 subscribers. Thank you.
Oh,
I am honored by that. I can't figure out why. Like me, could have that many people that would like me. So when I hit 1,000, I will do a gall. But thank you so much to all the subscribers. I appreciate everybody. It's a heartwarming feeling to know that people like me. And like to listen to me talk. Like to listen to me talk. I don't know. I'm nothing special. I can think of other people that have got better things to say. But thank you very much to everybody.
Well, it's nice of you to say that, John, and that is an accomplishment. 900 subscribers. I mean, not everyone gets to that level. So, you may not understand why, and I have to admit that I sometimes don't understand why people like watching me sit in my basement and talk to myself. But the truth is, they do, and we really do appreciate it. And right now, we've got 115 folks out there watching this, which is remarkable.
Wow, that's good.
So and
that's good.
I really appreciate that because it's Friday night. You guys all have something else to do, and you're taking the time out to listen to me and John just chat. So I hope that means we're doing something right, and we always appreciate the guys watching. So thanks for bringing it up.
I told my wife I was going into the bathroom. She doesn't know I'm down here. No, she knows where I'm at. I'm hoping that it grows and grows and grows. Because the cool thing about it is, people ask me why I do this. It's my daily journal. And I do open up about personal things, maybe a little too much. But it is my daily, it's my way of doing a daily journal, video journal, a video vlog, or whatever you want to, I don't know I guess that's what you call it. By the way, I'm doing well. My neck's doing really well.
Oh, great.
And I'm in physical therapy. We're going to start weaning me off the painkillers. I was having some issues a couple days ago, and I started freaking out because I was like, what's wrong with me? And here I was taking the one medication more than I should have been, and it was reacting with the other two, and it was making me weird. And the lady says, you need to read the bottle and pay attention. So I'm doing better.
That's great.
And I can't wait to get released from PT. So I'm home every day too, and that's the reason I punch out so many videos.
Sure.
I'll talk to people in a house party. I'll put some videos out there. I hope I'm helping people. I never want to offend anybody. And I never want to bring disrespect to the YTPC. And that's something I think a lot of us think about. A lot of us presenters think about. Yeah. I like watching your stuff. I love watching the way when you guys do when you're making the pipes and you're showing what you're doing. To me, there's a network in Pennsylvania called PCN Network, and they do a factory. They'll go to a factory and they'll show you at the factory, and they do a tour. It's called PCN Tours, and they tell you all about the factory. I'm the nerd that gets into that stuff. So when I see a pipe making video, like I watch Simon, I watch you, Jay Mouton would do some, and who's the other one? Sea Smokes. And I watch these, and I'm going, I'm like a nerd. I'm the geek that's like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. But it's inspiring me to go, hey, I want to try this. I don't know how good I can get, but I'll try. And that's the only thing you can do, I guess, is try.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with repair and restoration. The only way to get better is to do it. And what happens to a lot of guys is they just think about doing it and they never actually do it. So,
right.
You got to make that first step. Well, John, we're coming up on a half an hour, and I want to give the folks a chance to ask questions as well. But before I do that, there's one thing I got to ask you about, or at least comment on. I noticed watching your videos that you are, I believe, the only other person I know that still uses a percolator, other than myself.
Yeah, my number one way of brewing my coffee. For some reason, I just like it. I don't know if it's something that from being in childhood watching my parents or my grandparents doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I like doing cowboy coffee. I don't like the K-cups, and I don't like the coffee machines because they're hard to disinfect.
Yeah.
So, and my brother was like, hey, he was like, why don't you try a percolator, my older brother? And I was like, I started doing percolator. I went, hey, this is pretty good. But, I don't know of anybody else that does percolator out there.
Well, Mark in Rhode Island just came out of the the dark to say that he loves a percolator too. So there's a few of us. CMA Sailor.
So he's a closet percolator.
Yeah, they're all coming out now.
Yeah.
I agree. There's something about it. It just tastes better. You don't get the bitterness. And I was just real happy to see somebody. You know, my percolator broke about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was in an absolute panic because they're not easy to find. And
no.
I was.
And when you do, they're expensive.
Yes. Yeah. But worth it. Anyway, I really wanted to make sure we covered that. So if it's okay with you, I'll see if there's any questions in the audience.
Sure.
So guys, any questions you've been saving up for John? Anything you'd like to ask him?
I see some people are putting now. I'm a little behind on time. That they like French press. French press, I like it. I'll tell you what. You better be ready for some strong coffee with French press. You got to be a man to drink French press. I'll tell you. That's. But I do like French press. I see some people commenting on that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So we got a question from Cogs and Sprocket asking if you're willing to answer how you got injured and how the YTPC might be helping you deal with that disability.
Okay. I drive trucks. I used to drive over the road, then I drove local, then I started driving dump truck. And in March, I was put into a dump truck. The seats are air ride. Now, on a tractor trailer, where that fifth wheel connects to the trailer, it helps absorb some of the shock of the weight. In a dump truck, you're not. You're getting all the weight all at one time. So my air ride seat wasn't working right, and I had to keep blowing it up. So I went on a job site, and I was taking stone, and we were dumping stone. They had just started clearing the land, so it's uneven terrain, and you're driving on. And my head slammed, hit the roof, and I came down. Didn't think anything of it. I think I cussed for a second, and then later on, I went to get out of the truck, and the seat was all the way up because that was the way I blew it up. I had to keep blowing it up, and I hit my head, the side of my head, and that's when I really felt the rutsch. But I didn't think anything about it. We call it rutsching in Pennsylvania. That's a Dutch term for crinked it. Crinked it. And so I didn't think nothing of it. Said something to the supervisor. Very good company. I won't name them because I can't. There's no lawsuit or anything. But I just don't, because they're a very good company. And nothing was written up. I didn't go to the doctors. And 3 months about July, it took until about July, I'm in Delaware dumping stone and picking up sand. We would get our sand from down at Dover, Delaware, across from the air base there. And one of the guys' trucks broke down, and he had to ride back with me. And he said, "What is wrong with you?" And I said, "My shoulder and my arm, my neck are killing me. I can't take the pain anymore." So I wake up on Saturday morning. That was a Friday. I wake up on Saturday morning, and my wife is standing over me and says, "Call the doctor. I can't have another night's sleep like this. I can't take this anymore. You're just up all night." So I went in, got an X-ray. He looked at it and went, "Yeah, I'm not touching you.
Oh boy.
You're going to a neurosurgeon." He said, "You look at this," and he's explained. Now, I have a medical background because I was an EMT. I was blessed to say I had 2 good careers. I was an emergency medical technician for a very long time, and then I got out of that, and then I got into my own business and then trucking. So I finally get into the neurosurgeon, and he said, "You need surgery." And he kept saying to me, "Are you sure you're not in more pain than you already are?" I was like, "No, I'm fine. It's about August. This was August. I'm fine." He said, "Listen, you got a bad problem here. C3 all the way down to T1. Now there's C1 to C7, cervical 1 to cervical 7, and then it's T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, way to 10, the spine." And I said, "So what are the options? If I let it go, what happens?" He said, "You're 50 at that time. I'm 51 now." He said, "If you let it go in 10 years, you could be worse. I'm telling you, don't get back in the truck right now." Okay. So he said, "I'm going to send you to get an MRI." I got an MRI. Went back. Then they did. They said, "Yeah, surgery is needed." So before surgery, I had to have a CAT scan. They put 3 rods in my neck. I have what they call a level 5 fusion. Got about a 6 or 7 inch scar that runs down my neck from the base of my skull all the way down. C1, C2. You ever hear of a hangman's fracture?
No, I haven't.
They call it a hangman's fracture. Comes from when they used to hang criminals. What it does is that fractures the C1, C2, basically takes the skull and just breaks it completely off the spine.
Yeah.
So I'm at C3. C3 affects the arm, the hand, the fingers, the thumbs, the forearms, the deltoids, into the pecs. C3, C4, C4, C5, C6, C7, T1. They all connect, and this is how this all works to make it in layman's terms.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been off since July. I started getting depressed about it, and it was really, really, I was having a rough time. And so I started making videos, and I was trying to have good spirits about it. And then it got to the point where I couldn't wait for surgery because it was bad. I had pins and needles in my left arm all the time. I couldn't play my guitar. I couldn't go do my music. I couldn't do anything. So I was ready for surgery. I'm glad I got it. It worked. I got a road to recovery. I don't think work is going to let me back in the truck. I think I'm going to be a liability to them. Doctors won't give me a definite answer because they're all afraid of lawsuits.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, my wife's an attorney, and she says, "Boy, they give the same answers attorneys do. You ask them a question, and their answer is, well, it depends." So, I'm preparing for the next part of life, either disability, work from home, or try to figure. I can't stand for long periods of time yet, but I'm only 2 months out of surgery, and I can't sit for long periods of time without being in pain. So it gets a little difficult. But I hope that answers the question. It's a little long, but I hope that answers the question.
No, that was really interesting, and we all certainly hope that you're doing better, and that road to recovery is an easy one for you.
Yeah, and the love I've been getting emails, well wishes, prayers. I have been overwhelmed by I'm a church going man. If more people in church acted the way we act towards one another in YTPC, we wouldn't have so many churches fighting. We wouldn't have people fighting in church so much. A lot of people in here, they care for me. They pray for me. They send me well wishes. I was getting gifts. People were sending me tobacco and stuff like that. And so, again, thank you, everybody. I am getting better. So, I am getting better.
Great, John. So we're a few minutes before 9. Are you okay to stay a bit longer? Because we still have quite a few people interested and a few other questions.
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, okay. I'll stay as long as you need me to answer questions, whatever you need.
Well, there's been a few that have been scrolling by, and unfortunately my memory is short enough that I'm not going to remember most of them.
I see one now. I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area, not far from Hershey. I'm close to Hershey. If you know where Hershey is, that's where all the chocolate comes from. We used to live in Hershey, and I used to say they call it the sweetest place on earth because I live there. But I don't live there anymore. I live in the Harrisburg area, but I live close to Hershey.
So related to that, I saw a question earlier asking, is something along the lines of, is Pennsylvania the best place to live in the world and why? And I know the first part of the answer is yes, but I'd like you to take that.
Yes and no. Yes, if you don't want, we don't get earthquakes. We rarely get hurricanes. We do get earthquakes, but very small ones, like two on a Richter. We get a lot of tornado warnings, very few tornadoes. It is a beautiful state. I love living here. When I was over-the-road truck driver, and I went to Texas the first time, I went in through Louisiana. Louisiana's cool. I love Western Louisiana. When I got into Texas, I went, wow, that's a state to live in. Fortunately for me, I don't have to move there because I have family there and I can go visit. So I don't have to. I like living in Pennsylvania. I live in look, I'm an hour and a half from Philly. 2 hours from New York. I'm an hour and a half from Baltimore and DC. So, I mean, it's perfect where we're at. The only bad part is I'm not an Eagles fan.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm a Redskins fan.
Oh.
And it's embarrassing to say I'm a Redskins fan. But yeah, I do like Pennsylvania. I like living here. It's a great state. I wish they'd lower the taxes on tobacco. But that's a biased reason. Mm-hmm. But it's a great state to live in. It's not bad. It's not bad. Nice people. Some of the nicest people I know. This is for the Southern friends that are watching. People from the South are some of the best, nicest people I've ever met in my life. They know how hospitality works. And that's not a cut on anybody else, but anybody I've ever met from the South, their hospitality has been out of this world. So,
yeah, I had the opportunity to live in Atlanta for about 6 years, and experience that firsthand, and it was wonderful. But I got to say, I was really glad to come back to Pennsylvania because it's home.
Yeah.
Home is home.
I would miss Pennsylvania. My wife's family is all here. They live close by. My family doesn't live close by, but my kids do. And I now have a grandson, and I have a new child in the house. I have a puppy dog.
Uh-huh. What type
Some
of
days he's a toddler on steroids, is what he is. But he's just a bundle of joy.
What is the breed?
Keeps me company.
What is the breed?
What's that?
What breed of dog?
He's a red-bone coonhound.
Oh yeah,
I
saw a picture of him.
He's been itching to try to get in the door here with me. He's a beautiful dog. I got him from a breeder about an hour west of here, just on the other side of Carlisle, near Fanitsburg, I think it's called. Beautiful dog. Mm-hmm. It's just high energy, which is what I wanted because he keeps me moving. But at 51, I'm glad it's not kids because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Kids are a lot harder to deal with than dogs. And I got 5 kids. So, and girls, if anybody asks, girls are easier than boys. That's just the way. That was my experience. The girls were a lot easier than the boys. So, but I love them all. I love them all.
Yeah, of course, of course. And regarding the dog, that's one more thing we got in common, John. I've actually got 2. They're coonhound mixed with golden retriever, but I know exactly what you mean by the high energy. But they're great dogs.
Yeah, yeah. Then you got. I bought them potty. They call potty bells. I put potty bells, and they came. They came yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Put them on the door, and in 10 minutes, that dog figured it out. And you give him a treat. Like you let it do it 3 times, you give him a treat. Then he does it. You open the door, you let him out, you give him a treat. And then he got smart. Well, if I go ring the bells, Daddy will give me a treat. So I figured out what he was doing, and I went, that ain't going to happen no more.
Right.
So when he rings the bells now, he has to go out, and it's good. It was a good way to train him. These really smart dogs. A lot of dogs are smarter than you think they are, and they know how to play it to get what they want. So he gets more from my. I wish I had the gift my dog had to get things from my wife the way he gets from her.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, because he can just look at her a certain way, and she just. Like, man, I look at you that way, and you're like, well, get away from me. Get away from me. It's
right.
like, but he's a good dog. He's a good dog. I love him.
And they do know how to train us.
Yeah, they do, and they're part of the family. It's been 4 years since our last dog passed, and I cried for 2 weeks. When that dog died, that was horrible. I had her for a long time. So,
yeah, that's always difficult. They're with us for such a short time, and I don't know what your reaction was, but every time I've lost a dog, I've always said I'm never going to do this again because it hurts too much. And then within a very short time,
yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
And my wife said, "You're home every day." She did this. She said, "You're home every day. You need a companion." Because what it is she'd come home and I'd be all over her, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because I was bored. So she comes home one day and she goes, "You know what? I think we need to talk about getting a dog." And I went, "Okay, good. Here's what I'm looking at." And she goes, "How long have you been researching that?" I said, "About 2 months." I knew I'd get one. So I was prepared. I was ready and prepared to do it. I said, "This is what I want." So.
There you go.
But
always helps to be prepared. Oh, fantastic. Anything else you'd like to say, John, before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm noticing that I'm getting some new subscribers. Pipe Time, thank you. Piano Piper, thank you. And I can't see the rest now all of a sudden. I've met a lot of great people here. There's a lot of great channels on here. There are so many channels on here that it's hard to watch everybody.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm going to give you a shameless plug. If you don't watch Cane Rod Piper, you're missing out. You also have a website.
Yes.
It's a great website. If you find someone you like that you can just sit and listen to them, you don't have to watch them. Yeah, Chad, your wife got you a bell. You needed the bell. Chad says his wife got him a bell. But if you find someone that you really like, get to know them. If you want to get noticed and you're a presenter, get on the live streams. Talk to people. Get to know them. Because people in the YTP, I do this all the time. I'll see a name and go, that name, I don't know that name. And I'll click on them and I'll go to their channel and I give them some YTP some love and I sub them. And then I check their channel out and I watch them. This has been a great, I've been off since July. I don't know what I would be doing right now if it wasn't for being able to get on YTPC and watch and listen and learn. I've learned so much from so many people. I've gotten to make a lot of friends, virtual friends, and very few where I've actually gotten to meet. George Bruno, BTWN guy, and I have become close friends. Dale Gann, he's a lurker. He doesn't present. DCC, I've gotten to meet Sean Ghost Cobb, him and I house party.
Mm-hmm.
We've become good friends and gotten to know each other very well. Preacher Man Piper, LaDon, Harriet, Skip and Steph, Leo, Lutrasaurus, Jean Panzer. I could go on and on and on
Sure.
and on and on. These are people from all over the world. And, who could forget Simon?
Mm-hmm.
I did a thing, we were doing a house party. I don't know if you know what a house party is. And you're all on the same screen together. And I said, hey, it was Harriet, LaDon, and I think Preacher Man, and I think Leo. And I said, hey, you want to see my impression of Simon? And they were like, sure. I said, yeah, I've been learning impressions. So I turned the camera around so it was facing something else, and I went, hello, just like that. And they lost it. They just thought that was the funniest thing. And I said, if Simon was on House Party, and it was no put down to Simon, it's a compliment. If Simon was on House Party, that is how Simon would house party. He would not be showing his face because that's what he doesn't do. Another channel I love is Artful Codger.
Mm-hmm.
The guy, is he like a movie producer or something? Because he's just good. And when him and Eric get together,
yeah.
What's that?
I said he definitely has a flair for putting those videos together.
Yeah.
No
watching him and Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker, is as fun as it was watching Sergeant Savinelli and Matches. You know, they just have a good time. It's fun to watch. And those, if you notice, those are some of the videos that get the largest views because people just love to see it. I don't know what it is. We just love to see people's conversations.
Yep.
You know, so
Yeah.
I'm on here. In my description box, I always have my email. Anybody's welcome to email me anytime. Look me up on House Party. Marco Polo. I try to answer comments as much as I can. Hey, Tamper Tantrum, good to see you, buddy. He made me a tamper last year and sent it to me as a gift, and I love it. It's one of my favorite ones. Mark Tobacco Pipes International made me 2 beautiful tampers, and he sent me a Country Gentleman, my favorite. That was a surprise the other day. That's the kind of love that goes around in here, and that's what I just love this. Thanks, Paul the Piper. I just love everybody on here because people are good to me.
Yep.
They're good to me, and I appreciate that. You don't see that in this world today like we do here.
Right. No, it is very unique, as we were saying earlier.
And can I make one request?
Sure.
Please, Curmudgeon Piper, I know you talked about this, but please do not do a video of you on your patio in a Speedo smoking a pipe. They'll shut down the YTPC if you do that.
Well,
he's telling me a story about that one day, and I'm thinking, oh, dear Lord.
Well, John,
so don't do it, Doug. Don't do it.
well, to be fair to Doug, I think that if any of us did that, it would have the same results.
Yeah. So go to bed at night thinking about that. That's it. Yeah, sweet dreams.
Yeah, thanks.
But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, John, and I just wanted to mention you mentioned your email and your description and all that. In the description of this video, as well as up on the calendar that I put together, I have listed your email address, your contact information on Instagram and YouTube, and also I understand you're trying to supplement your income a bit by selling some merchandise.
Yes.
And I've put links to those
thank you for mentioning that.
Sure.
So I know some people they cringe at that, and I'd rather give somebody a product. It helps to supplement the income.
Sure.
And I thank the people who do it. I don't expect it, but I offer it. So thank you to those of you that do it. I appreciate it very much. I'm not looking for charity, but I want you to have something. Hey, what better thing to have than a picture of me on a coffee mug in the morning, and that's the first thing you get to look at before you take a sip. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
So,
I think we all need one of those.
Yeah. There you go. So,
Anyway, John, again, I want to thank you. I'm going to wrap this up now. But thanks so
okay.
much for coming on. I really enjoyed the chat. And are
Yes.
you gonna? I saw somebody ask, are you going to be at the Boswell's meetup in? I think it's in April.
April 25th,
Yep.
I will be there.
Okay, fantastic.
Classical pipes, I think, is setting everything up.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys going, and I'm going to try to make it myself.
Are
So
you-
it'll be good to see you there.
If you could be there, hey people, if you can drive 2 hours, please come on down. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll
It'll be
good
a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. But thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I
my
look forward to
pleasure.
next Friday's episode. And next Friday, I'll be smoking because I'll sit outside and smoke it and watch it on my phone.
Fantastic.
So,
I'll look forward to seeing you then.
all right, sir.
All right. Thank you much, John. You have a good evening.
Hey, thanks, Mike. You too. God bless everybody. Love you. Thank you all again.
All right. Bye now. I hope you all enjoyed that. That was a great chat. You know, John is one of those natural storytellers, and obviously we could have gone on for quite a bit longer, but I think we we had enough laughs and a good time all. So I mentioned briefly when I was talking there that I'm trying to put all the relevant guest information down below in the description. But also, if you get a chance to check out the calendar that I put up, I think that's actually a pretty useful resource. I'm sorry, I've got two monitors here, and I'm looking down at this one and ignoring you guys. I think it's a pretty useful resource. It's got the shows scheduled into the future, so you can see what's coming up. But you can also click on it and go to their YouTube channel or go to any websites that they have or anything like that. So you can actually learn something about the guests before you decide to commit to watching the live stream. Next week, we've got a really interesting one. A couple who might still be on. I don't know if they had to go or not, but Steve and Kathy Ennis, who are from Oklahoma, they've been very frequent commenters on the channel, on my channel, and probably on many of yours. And I'm really looking forward to them. They've sent me some information about themselves, and I'm going to be talking to them early next week as well. But just a nice couple, and I think we're going to have a good time just learning about them, learning their story. So I'm really looking forward to that. So with that, guys, I think we're going to bring this to a close. Thank you all for tuning in. We had a great turnout tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time. And I will see you guys all on Sunday morning. So take care and have a great weekend. Goodbye now.